Do you know there is a witch out there who uses dark magic to shapeshift into animals? Sounds crazy, right? But thousands of people swear they've seen it happen. I am talking about the skinwalkers. For centuries, legends have warned us about these creatures. They're shapeshifters, masters of disguise, and according to stories, crossing paths with one could change your life forever. So, are skinwalkers just myths to scare children? Or could there be some truth behind these legends? Hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon, because I am going to reveal the real truth about these creatures. The ancient origins of evil. So, let's rewind to the roots of this nightmare. Skinwalkers weren't always monsters. In fact, according to Navajo tradition, they actually started as medicine men. Yeah, healers, people with deep knowledge of herbs, ceremonies, and spiritual practices. They were supposed to help their communities to keep the balance between the physical and spiritual worlds. But some of these medicine men got greedy. They looked at their knowledge and thought, why use this to heal when I can use it to control? That's when they turned down what's called the witchery way. And this wasn't just choosing a different career path, it was stepping into pure darkness. Instead of saving lives, they chose to destroy them. To fully become a skinwalker, you have to kill a close family member. Imagine that. Your own brother, sister, or even child, murdered not out of rage, but as a ticket to power. It's not just betrayal, it's the total rejection of what makes us human. And once that deed was done, there was no going back. Through secret ceremonies, these people shed their humanity. Neighbors who were once trusted healers transformed into something that looked human on the outside, but wasn't anymore. And that's just the beginning, because the second you hear how they transform, you'll realize we're not just talking about folklore, we're talking about something straight out of a nightmare. The terrifying transformation. Skinwalkers are shapeshifters. They don't magically morph with special effects. No, they wear the skins of animals. Literally, they drape themselves in the hide of coyotes, wolves, bears, foxes, even owls. Each animal serves a purpose. Coyotes are tricksters, wolves give them strength, bears are all about brute power, and owls are death messengers. Witnesses don't just see animals, they see things caught between animal and human, twisted hybrids that shouldn't exist. People have described a coyote that stands over 7 feet tall with glowing red eyes, or wolves that move like hunters with human intelligence, tracking people in ways that no normal animal ever could. And they're fast, like terrifyingly fast. Some stories say skinwalkers can run alongside cars going 50 miles per hour. Others say they can leap cliffs or vanish in an instant, leaving behind tracks that suddenly stop mid-desert, like they just melted into thin air. The transformation itself is said to be horrifying to watch. Bones stretching, skin tearing, a human face twisting into something that's not quite animal and not quite human. It's unnatural, it's wrong, and it's exactly why these legends stick with you long after you've heard them. And if you think shapeshifting is bad, wait until you hear the other tricks of skinwalkers. The supernatural arsenal. One of their scariest abilities? Voice mimicry. Just imagine you're sitting at home and you hear your mom calling you from outside. You go check, only to find out she's asleep in her bed. That voice in the dark? Yeah, that wasn't her. That's how skinwalkers lure people in, by using the voices of loved ones. And then there's mind control. According to Navajo belief, if a skinwalker locks eyes with you, it's game over. They can take over your will, freeze you in place, or even make you do things you'd never normally do. Imagine staring into glowing eyes and suddenly realizing you're not in control anymore. It gets worse. They're also said to cause sickness and death. Not through normal means, but through curses, what the Navajo call medicine darts. Invisible projectiles that strike victims, causing mysterious illnesses doctors can't explain. Families have lost loved ones to diseases they believe were placed on them by skinwalkers. And if that wasn't enough, skinwalkers are rumored to command animals, wolves, coyotes, owls. They use them like spies and soldiers. Some stories even claim they can dig up the dead and reanimate them as grotesque puppets. That's not just horror movie stuff. That's deep cultural fear of corruption, of the natural order being flipped upside down. These aren't just stories from centuries ago. People today still claim to see them. And the place where it all comes together is a ranch in Utah that's been called one of the scariest places on Earth. The real terror. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, okay, cool legend, but it's just old folklore, let me stop you right there. Because skinwalkers aren't stuck in the past. People swear they're still around, and the modern stories might be even scarier. The most famous place? Skinwalker Ranch. This is a 512-acre property in Utah that's basically a magnet for the bizarre. Back in 1994, a family named the Shermans bought it, thinking they were getting a quiet life in the country. Instead, they walked into a horror show. Their cattle started turning up mutilated, organs missing, cuts so precise it looked like surgery. And these weren't random attacks. There was no blood, no struggle, just bodies, perfectly carved up, as if by something beyond human. Then came the sightings, glowing orbs floating through the sky, crop circles, strange creatures lurking just beyond the tree line. One night, Terry Sherman saw a massive wolf in his yard, 3 times the size of a normal one, with glowing red eyes. He shot it with a high-powered rifle 3 times. It didn't flinch. It just walked off calmly, leaving giant tracks that suddenly disappeared, like the thing had vanished into thin air. These events got so intense that billionaire Robert Bigelow, yes, the guy who invests in space exploration, bought the ranch in 1996. He brought in scientists from the National Institute for Discovery Science to study the place. Over 6 years, they documented nearly 100 unexplained incidents. Trained scientists saw massive humanoid creatures perched in trees, orbs zipping through the air, and cattle mutilations that defied all biology. One researcher, Dr. Colm Kelleher, even had his own run-in with a skinwalker-like creature. He saw a huge figure with glowing yellow eyes watching him from a tree. When he fired at it, it took off, leaving behind claw marks that didn't match any known animal. And that's just one ranch. Across the Southwest, people report seeing skinwalkers on highways, near reservations, and in remote desert areas. This isn't just ancient history, it's something that refuses to die. So why does this legend keep haunting people? Why does it cling to us in the age of science and satellites? The answer might be even creepier than the stories themselves. Why the legend still haunts us? So here's the real question. Why are skinwalkers still there? Why does this legend carry so much weight even today? The Navajo believe skinwalkers aren't outsiders. They're people from the community, neighbors, family, friends. That idea alone is terrifying, that the person sitting across from you at dinner could secretly be walking the darkest path imaginable. Another part is silence. Talking about skinwalkers openly is taboo in Navajo culture. Elders warn that speaking of them attracts their attention, so people don't tell these stories lightly. When they do, it's often because something truly strange happened to them, something they can't explain. That silence adds weight, makes the legend feel heavier, scarier, more real, and maybe that's why these stories have lasted so long, because unlike vampires or zombies, skinwalkers aren't just faceless monsters. They're human ones. They're corrupted versions of us. That's scarier than any beast, because if they exist, it means anyone could fall. Anyone could choose that darkness. So next time you hear a familiar voice calling your name in the dead of night, before you step outside, ask yourself, are you sure it's really them? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear your theories. And if this video gave you chills, smash that like button, subscribe for more creepy stories, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.